grateful for the right honourable gentleman giving way. Can I ask a specific point on this? Because there's two pieces of information that are coming out. First of all, we've received the Cabinet Office circular from your good self, which sets out in detail how the negotiations have went, and it specifically makes this point that the PCS came forward with a proposal which would have reduced the amount of money being made available to lower-paid staff in order to pay for enhanced benefits for those at the higher end of the scale. Now, the trade unions have come out and have said that that is not the case. Can you provide the figures which would have demonstrated how much would have needed to go to those at the top to provide enhancements and how much would have been taken away from those down the bottom in order to give us more information about that process of negotiation?
Well, it's really hard to do that because, as the point I've made throughout, and I made in the letter which I sent to all members of the House, there were only ever very outline suggestions made by PCS. Back in September, 5 of the unions, the 5 not including PCS, wrote to me with some proposals which the 5 unions had signed up to, PCS declined to sign up to. At their request, we entered into discussions with those 5 unions, and those proposals that they had made formed the basis. They aren't totally reflected in the new scheme that we've developed, but they formed the basis of that new scheme. I consistently urged PCS to join in that process and to make concrete proposals. PCS had declined to sign that letter that the other 5 unions had signed, despite being asked to do so by those 5 unions. And so, at the end of this protracted process, where there were meetings, as the honourable gentleman says, with Mark Sawatka and with Steve Gillen of the POA, where I urged them to make concrete proposals that would enable us to work towards a full agreement. But all that emerged was, after protracted delay, outline suggestions where when asked how this was going to be the additional protection for people who were higher paid, not high-paid people, but above the £23,000 underpin, how that was to be paid for, the only suggestion was that you could lower the underpin so that all lower-paid workers would have been penalised, or by making reductions to the protection available to those over 50. And we weren't willing to do that because those were priorities for us to give protection there. So I will give way to the honourable gentleman.
Just to follow on from